It's Monday, July 8th, 2024. This is CBS News Mornings. Breaking overnight, ready or not, here comes Beryl. The storm, once again strengthening to a hurricane, is now pounding southern Texas. The latest on the storm's track and the extreme heat gripping much of the country. Copping a plea, the Justice Department says Boeing has agreed to plead guilty to a criminal charge in connection to the crashes of two 737 MAX jets. And back on the stump, President Biden returns to the campaign trail, trying to rally support as more House Democrats call for him to drop out of the race. Good morning, I'm Matt Piper in for Anne Marie Green. Thanks for being with us. We start with Hurricane Beryl. Overnight, the storm regained strength and is back to a Category 1 as it pounds the Texas Gulf Coast. More than 10 million people are in Beryl's path as it makes landfall near Matagorda Bay, about 100 miles south of Houston. Roads in Houston are already flooded. So far, the storm is responsible for 11 deaths as it barreled through the Caribbean and Mexico. We have team coverage. David Parkinson is tracking its path, but we start with Jared Hill with the latest on how people in Texas are getting ready. Jared. All right, Jared Hill, thanks so much. Now let's go to CBS News senior weather producer David Parkinson, who's here right now tracking Beryl. David, what can you tell us?
Yeah, good morning, Matt.
Weather, the big story today. David Parkinson, thank you so much. Well, both coasts of the U.S. have also been dealing with a dangerous and deadly heat wave, as David was just saying. Areas in California, Nevada, and Arizona have been posting record-breaking temperatures ranging from 111 degrees to 129 yesterday. One motorcyclist visiting Death Valley National Park in California died from heat exposure, and another was hospitalized. Visitors on the Vegas Strip were dealing with 120-degree temps yesterday, an all-time high, shattering a record by 4 degrees set in 2017.
We drank more water than I think we've ever drank before.
Yeah, we were going to walk up and down the strip, but it's just way too hot to do that. We don't want to pass out and die out here.
The high heat is also fueling a series of wildfires across California. The growing lake fire in Santa Barbara has already scorched more than 25 square miles. Breaking overnight, the Justice Department says Boeing has agreed to plead guilty to a criminal fraud charge stemming from two deadly crashes of its 737 MAX jetliners in order to avoid a criminal trial. The plea deal still has to be approved by a federal judge. It includes a fine close to $500 million. That is a fraction, though, of the close to $25 billion victims' families have been asking for. Now to the presidential race and new evidence that skepticism among President Biden's allies is widening. Sources tell CBS News that at least 4 more Democratic congressmen called on the president to drop out of the race during a meeting with House Democratic leaders. CBS's Natalie Brand traveled with the president to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Israel and Hamas appear to be inching closer to a ceasefire and hostage release deal. CIA Director William Burns is set to lead a summit Wednesday in Doha. Meantime, thousands of Israelis took to the streets of Tel Aviv and Jerusalem Sunday for a day of disruption to mark 9 months since Hamas's October 7th attack. They're demanding Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu make a deal to bring the hostages home, and they want new elections. All this as Israel issued new evacuation orders for parts of Gaza City, which was heavily bombed and largely emptied early in the war. And we are getting our first look at the besieged city of Rafah since Israel's assault there began 2 months ago. CBS's senior foreign correspondent Holly Williams was among those invited along. John Cena announced he is retiring from professional wrestling next year. The wrestler turned actor delivered the news in a heartfelt speech Saturday to a stadium filled with WWE fans in Toronto. Cena promised a farewell tour with dozens of dates and an epic final night. Coming up on CBS Mornings, actor Rashida Jones stops by the Times Square studio. Power through with happiness. Coming up on CBS Mornings, in our series Begno's America, David Begno introduces us to a group of architecture students who are changing the life of one man in their community. Plus, first on CBS Mornings, we are diving in for Shark Week. We will speak with Paul DeGelder about his personal journey that made him an advocate for sharks. And actor Rashida Jones stops by the Times Square studio to discuss the debut of her new Apple TV show series, Sunny. That is CBS News Mornings for this Monday. Thank you for watching. I'm Matt Piper. Have a great day.